Hello, everyone. Christelle here from the Creative Crafting Club, and I've got Lauren here with me
Hi.
today. So, Lauren went from teaching the odd class here and there to selling out her first set of classes in 24 hours. So, you're in for a treat today. Lauren is a mom, she's a primary school teacher, and she's a kids crafting club owner. Welcome, Lauren. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
So Lauren shared with me earlier that her biggest challenge prior to opening her club was just juggling time as a mom and as a teacher, and how starting her own kids craft club changed that massively for her. So finally gaining some freedom and flexibility and a lot of fun. So before I give everything away, the interview in this interview, Lauren's going to be sharing all the nitty-gritty details of how she actually did it and what her journey was like, and then also sharing some tips on how you can do it too. So, Lauren, let's jump right in. Would you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself?
Not at all. So,
Are you?
Lauren,
Sorry.
that's right. I have two children. So I have Erin, who's 6, and Rory, who's 3. I've been a primary school teacher for a long time, and we live in Essex in the UK. And I started that kid life in October, November time last year. And it's just grown a lot more quickly than I anticipated. And it just all sort of came from lockdown last year. When I just started sort of sharing some ideas on Instagram about different ways I played and crafted with my own children, and I shared some ideas about homeschooling. So I had a lot of the mums on the WhatsApp chat from school who were like messaging me saying, "Oh, the school have said about this. Like, what do we do?" So I was like, "I got this, guys. Right, let's all do this today." And so we sort of were sharing lots of ideas there, and then it sort of grew from there, and here we are.
That's amazing. Everybody will share Lauren's link in the comments below. She's got a beautiful Instagram page and a website where she shares all these ideas. And once you start scrolling, you can't stop scrolling. Lauren, well done with that. And November last year, let me just stop there. You have achieved so much in such a short time already. Lauren, would you mind sharing what was your biggest challenge prior to opening your club? Or what was your life like before you started your club?
It was I love teaching dearly, and I would never say never to going back to being a full-time school teacher. But once I'd had my own children, trying to fit in a job that I loved, plus my own family, plus childcare fees for 2 children, plus all of these other things, that life throws at you, just something had to give, and it obviously isn't going to be my children. So I was like, I love my career, I love teaching, but I wanted to kind of take the best bits of those and do something else with it, aside from working these incredibly long hours and barely seeing my children. So that's where it all sort of came from initially. Like, I just started sort of brainstorming different ideas I could do, because time was just not there.
Yeah. Yeah. And what did you feel in those moments? Were you scared? Did you have fears around doing your own thing? What were you saying to yourself?
Absolutely. It was scary because sort of teaching, I had that regular steady income, and it's a scary jump to do that. But like I said, when we'd worked it out after I had paid, because at the time I had 2 children under 3, so by the time I'd paid out nursery fees and so on, we were like, if I can just get a job to earn this amount of money and not have to pay all that out, it kind of balances out anyway. And then you've got the quality of life aspect in there
Yeah.
too. But it was scary going from like taking that jump, isn't it, to go by yourself. But like I said, I just knew something had to give. I knew something had to change. So, and I'm quite
And,
impulsive, so I was like, I'm just going to do it.
and you've
But
completely embraced it. I mean, you have achieved so much in such a short time. And I can see that you're a very good student, because you learn a lot and you apply it and you run with it. And I must give you some compliments there, because you have, yeah, you're a hard worker. And let me know who's watching and where you're watching from. I can see some eyes are popping up. So ultimately, when you decided to take the leap, what has been your most favorite part of your journey thus far?
I think after all the nerves of thinking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to just find a place to do it. I've already taught a lot of other baby classes and things like that. So I kind of had a few venues and things lined up that I could potentially use. So I was like, I'm just going to say to them, can I just have your room on a Tuesday morning? And so going from the nervous thing of that, right, I'm going to open bookings and I hope somebody turns up. If not, I'm going to delete all the posts and pretend this never happened. So going from that and then actually opening the bookings and seeing people going, yeah, we'd love to come. That was the best part. I was like, this could actually work. Like, we're actually onto something here. And I think, like I say, knowing I had that pressure from a previous steady income, knowing I had to make it work, I was like seeing that happen and thinking, this could be a thing, like this could be my job, was a big turning point for me.
That's amazing. And just tell us a little bit about when you put out that first post and you opened up your first classes. What happened?
I had a few people sharing it that who were sort of just in my network anyway, like some of the school mums or some people that I'd been to their classes before, and just people that I know locally. So a few people had shared it, and lots of people just started booking on. And what was really nice was that it wasn't just people I knew already that had booked on. It was all people I didn't know, and I was like, I can't believe it. These people I've never even met are just like, we want to come. And then they were like, oh yeah, well, we saw this. We saw you were doing this on Instagram, and we saw your Facebook group about this. And so they were like, I was obviously already on their radar. And I think one of the most important things, which sounds really obvious, is but to ask people what they want. So I'd mentioned before, would anybody be interested in a preschool arts and crafts class? And loads of people had said, oh, we'd love it. There's nothing locally like that. We'd love a craft class for little ones. And before, I was going to go down the after school route. And a lot of people said, oh, well, they're just getting back into school after a long time in lockdown and not being at school. So we're not sure about extra clubs and things like that at the moment. So I think it's just one of my biggest tips would be to actually ask people what they want. And it sounds so obvious, doesn't it? But it's something we already get an idea in our head and think, oh, that would be amazing. But actually just ask the people that you want to come to your club, say, would you like this? And you'll be able to go whether they do or not.
That's great advice. Lauren, I'm going to just share some of the photos of your classes. So tell us a little bit about your studio and where you are teaching. Just look how much fun these kids are having. I love this photo of you.
So this was, so I've had a few different, I normally use like sort of community centre rooms or church halls and things like that. And I've had, so these are from, that's my daughter them, after we tried out making the butterfly wings together at home. And then the other girls on the other side are from my class a couple of weeks ago. And I just try to pick nice, bright, clear spaces that aren't, that are just easily accessible to people, so either to get there by train or for parking. And again, that just came about from talking to people who I'd said, oh, would you come to this? And they were like, oh, it's really difficult to park around there and I can't really get there and it's going to clash with the school run and things like that. So again, it comes back to just talking to people and finding out which areas, which venues they can get to, what times their classes are run, and kind of setting up things that meet as many people as you can, as many people's wishes as you can. So that one there, sorry, I should jump in. This is at my classes, we do like the craft activities, which I take from your lesson plans, which are incredible. They've saved me so many hours of things. And then we just do a little bit of free play afterwards. So I normally set up a few activities for the children once they finish their crafting activity, just to go and explore. And I think a big part of it, I say to the parents, is like, these are all crafts and activities that we use from resources at home. It's all, I said, no, there's nothing fancy here. It's all cardboard boxes and toilet tubes and whatever else. So just observe your child and see what they're interested in. If they're really enjoying doing this part of the craft or they're really enjoying this activity afterwards, observe that, because they are things that you may be able to set up at home as well. And so I think it's quite a nice learning experience for the parents as well as the children enjoying it.
And over here, I mean, we were zooming in on this earlier as well, where on the right-hand side there, little boys threading, and at the bottom here, there's a color game and there's a mom reading. So setting up these different stations, Lauren, I mean, I can see that you've embraced like the whole learning experience for the kids as well, and teaching them fine motor and problem-solving skills with your STEAM crafts and all kinds of things. So would you mind just sharing a bit about your craft focus? I mean, your STEM crafts focus area.
So like I said, I use the main crafting activity. I use the lesson plans, which is from you guys. And then I have a theme each week. So that week there was about the caterpillars. So again, we had things to practice like cutting skills. I had books based around caterpillars and the garden, and just to give the opportunity for parents, like I say, to see what the children are interested in and to give them a bit of a rounded thing, so it's not just a sort of a twee craft club. I wanted it to be a bit meatier and a bit more to it, which is why I think the STEM element is just the STEAM element, is just so brilliant to have in there.
I think it's great. And also just empowering the parents to, as you say, just tell them, look, your child is actually interested in this. You could go and practice that further at home. I think those are magical. So, Lauren, I'm taking notes here. That's why I'm looking down. I'm always learning. So, Lauren, just to recap, like you made a few very good points here to say, ask people what they want. So in terms of a location, if somebody's listening and you're looking for a venue to start your club, ask the people, is it convenient for them? Is it close to schools? Is it close to areas that they can access? Perhaps it should be close to a tube station if you're in the UK or in a populated area. In our area, for instance, in a nicely dense residential area might work, and then safe parking. And then perhaps a water point would be useful. And the one thing we always also say is to try and not recur fixed costs with the studio. So rather pay per head per child, or do a flexible type of rental space agreement. That always works well. So have you found that with your rentals, has it always been quite easy for you to find?
They've been quite easy to find, but they do vary a lot in price. And at the moment, in the UK, our classes have to be socially distanced. So obviously that affects how many children you can get into the room. So I think hopefully over the coming months that will ease off a little bit and make running it more financially viable. But for here, they tend to charge hourly. Do tend to end up with that fixed cost. Right. However, there does seem to be a bit of like, don't be afraid to barter with people a little bit. Obviously, you don't want to take the mick, but at the same time, people would rather have their spaces being used than be empty for a morning. So I think it's all about building up those relationships with people and saying, I was really honest with my first venue I used on that Tuesday morning, and I said to them, I'm trying out this idea. I don't know how it's going to work or where it's going to go. What's the deal, basically? And he was like, oh, well, you can have it for like £10 an hour, or you can just have it for the whole morning for £20. And I was like, can I get back to you? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. And he was like, well, is this an ongoing thing? I said, can I just have it for 4 weeks and let you know? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. Just get back to me. So I think it's just about being open and honest to people. Don't, book something out for a year in advance and then go, oh, actually, that didn't quite work out for me. So,
I love that. Yeah. Another great tip. Yeah, because it really helps you keep your risks down, because you don't want to have this big expense lying on your head every single month. You'd rather either pay per head, or what we often do here as well, we collaborate with restaurants. So we would pick a time that they are quite quiet. So an off time for them, perhaps 10 o'clock in the morning. And then we do a toddler class, for instance, because then we know that the people are coming in, they're drinking coffees, the mom's around, and the restaurant's making money, and they usually don't charge us a cent then. So I love your idea of bartering, and then also the times, asking the people that you are serving what times would suit them. Lauren, then I also just want to quickly share, I see Stefania is here. She says, well done, Lauren, hard work always pays off, doesn't it? If there are any other CCC members, please give us a hashtag CCC in the comments. I also just took a screenshot of this that you shared in the members group. So Lauren said this was on the 6th of May. She said, yesterday I posted about my lead magnet on a few Facebook groups, and now I have 150 people on my mailing list. I'm building it up in the hope of starting a membership soon, so I'm super happy to be on the radar of some ideal clients now. Lauren, would you mind? I know that a lot of people are saying, what is this email list all about? Would you mind? 150 people, that's amazing. Let me just quickly stop and say, wow, that is incredible. Would you mind just sharing to the viewers why are you collecting emails and what is this about?
So with the lead magnet, I adapted from your craft activities that you provided, and I've set it up on my website so that people can input their email address. They get this download for free, and then I've got this list of their emails. And the idea with that is that these are my ideal clients. These are people that I want to be having eyes on my business. So I try to do, it doesn't always happen, a monthly newsletter. I try to be as consistent as I can, but it is one of those things that often gets pushed to the bottom of the pile. But I've now got 150 people who I know are interested in arts and crafts, have children the correct age. So when I do launch membership or launch new classes, or have other things to share with them, I've got this group of people that are already there. With that, what I did was I put it everywhere. So I've got a banner at the top of my website asking people to do it. I've got a separate page on my website. I posted in every local mum group that I could think of and every parent group I could think of. I shared it on the school WhatsApp group. And I think people worry about, oh God, I don't want to, bombard them again. I don't want to mention it again. But we see our content loads, putting it all out there. But everybody else might only see it once, if that. It just doesn't reach as far as you think. So I just go all out when I'm posting something. I will post it on Instagram, on Facebook, in groups, on my newsletter, on my website. Like, just put it absolutely over on your blog. And it also makes it easier because you can repurpose the content then as well. It's not like brand new things each time. So yeah, I just went all out and just put it absolutely everywhere I could think of, and then sort of bumped up the posts a few times. So
for those people who are not familiar with email marketing, so you're probably thinking, why collect emails? So Lauren explained it really well, but basically the days of standing next to the road with a banner around your neck saying, come to my art class, come to my arts and crafts club, buy my craft kit, that kind of thing, those days are gone, thank goodness, because I'm not a natural marketer. So by just putting out, so you can go and download that lead magnet from Lauren after this, but just putting up something like that, free craft activities. Let me quickly pull it up here again so you can have a look at it. Great, you can get free craft activities for ages 2 to 3, and all you have to do is give Lauren your email address. You just type it in. She's got a little form, and then it automatically gets sent to your email inbox. And then Lauren collects emails in return for this lovely lead magnet. So it's basically a magnet that's collecting email leads for her. And the great thing about that is that everyone reads their emails. And with social media, you've already noticed so many times that you don't really always see the posts. Social media monitors posts. So with email, once you have somebody's email address, then you could send them nice newsletters, and then you can also market your classes, your craft kits, your all kinds of things. And you know that they are the people who are really interested in what you do. So Lauren, congratulations. I think you've done a phenomenal job in collecting emails already. And now the nice thing is that when you launch your arts and crafts membership or sell craft kits, then you have an audience to launch it to. So you don't have to,
isn't there? Like, if for some reason, I don't know, Instagram went down or didn't exist anymore, or Facebook went down, you've lost all of those followers or all of those people that like your page. Whereas with your emails, they're not going anywhere. You've still got those 150 people or however many to contact.
Exactly. You actually own that email list, which is such a great point. Lauren, I also took a little video of you shared your Valentine's Day craft kit that you packed. So I'm just going to quickly pull that video up. I remember when you posted that in the members group, I watched it again and again and again. I just love it. It's so entertaining.
I do love time lapse.
I love time lapse. I think that's a fantastic way to show people what's in the box and how. Tell me a little bit. You're doing in-person classes, and are you still doing craft kits? Are you actively pursuing that?
Not at the moment, no. That was again sort of before sort of things were getting back to normal, as it were, sort of here.
Yes.
So I wanted to get the name out there a little bit more. I wanted people to be able to do these activities at home. I do hope to do craft kits again at some point. But it's just kind of finding the balance. Like, I love teaching. That's what I really thrive on. So that's where I'm sort of focusing all my attention at the moment. And then also hoping to start the virtual art club as well. But I'm hoping I will come back to craft kits once I've got everything else sort of taken over, she says. Yeah, once everything else, it's on the to-do list to come back to.
If you chase too many rabbits, you'll catch neither. So I really appreciate that you know where your main focus lies. So well done. I think that's that's admirable. I think it's good that you know where your passion lies.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, I enjoyed doing the craft kits, and it was a really nice way to get a bit of PR, really, because people were taking photos of their children and posting them and tagging me in them. So it definitely got the word out a little bit. And I think whether you're running, whichever thing you're doing, whether it's the membership or the kits or the clubs or whatever, anything like that gets people sharing and talking about you on social media is a good thing, isn't it? So I enjoyed it, but for me, I found it, I don't know, maybe a little bit too labour intensive for what I was getting back. But that's not to say I wouldn't do it again. I will come back to it at some point. I just need to have a bit of a clearer focus on it. And like I say, I'm just sort of concentrating on the classes at the moment.
Yeah. And also, now that you are building your email list, once you decide to launch your craft kits again, then it's going to be a lot easier to turn that into a membership and sell, because then you already have your audience who are engaged, who really trusts you and like you, and who would be super keen to buy them. So I think what you're doing is just like building your brand, growing your email list, and building that trust. And then when you're ready to launch that part of the business, then the audience is there. Lauren, how has starting a club changed your life? What has it made possible for you?
It's just been amazing, because I'm doing what I love. So the very best bits that I enjoyed about primary school teaching, I'm now doing, but on my own terms, and teaching all the things that I love. I still take my children to school and nursery every day, and still pick them up from school and nursery every day, which I'd never be able to do if I was teaching full time. It's just given us so much more freedom as a family. And it's become a real family affair. Like, my 6-year-old, she's like, "Mummy, maybe you could do this next week." I'm like, "Yeah, I might do, actually." And it's just given us, so much more time as a family. It's given, I take, for the craft clubs, I take a monthly booking. So I'm still getting a sort of fairly regular income, and it's not like I'm sort of like working out week by week. I still know for that month I've earned this amount of money, and I'm setting up this
Another great
So I'm not chasing bookings or relying on that every single week. And for example, my classes are almost full for June, and I've got a couple of bookings for July as well. So you can always sort of plan ahead for those as well. So I'm still getting that sort of fairly regular income, and also have the time to think about how I can expand or how I can grow. So, like with the art club that I'm hoping to do and things like that. So it's just, it's changed our lives dramatically.
Amazing. And you're really full for June. And I just want to repeat what you just said about the monthly booking, because that's so clever. And to not have to chase week after week for people to pay, and rather say, okay, you sign up almost like a subscription. So you sign a month per month, and then you've got the sustainable income coming in. Lauren, would you mind me asking, what was your work hours? So when you were a full-time teacher versus now, what are your week like?
Where previously I was dropping Erin at nursery at 7:15, going to work, and I would normally pick her up about 5:45.
Wow.
And then trying to get her home, shove some dinner down her, and then bath and bed. It was just, I felt like I barely saw her during the week, and it was just constant rush everywhere, and just absolutely exhausted. Whereas now, like I say, we just get up, I take them both to school and nursery, I go off and do my thing. I'm like, say for example, when I do my morning classes, I then spend the afternoon getting stuff ready for the next day or planning for the following week, or social media posts and those sorts of things. But it's just so much easier to work around. There are times in the evening where I might do bits and pieces, but the difference is now it's not because people are chasing me to do it, it's because I'm so excited about it that I want to do all these other things. So, and it's nice to feel like that. It's it's nice to feel, I really want to do this, I really want to do that, and you've got that motivation anyway. And it kind of all goes back to what I was saying to you earlier about going from having that steady income from a full-time job, like I have to make this work and I want to make it work. So you've got that drive in you too. So yeah, it's been a huge shift in working hours. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Lauren, I actually really relate to your story because it was very similar for me. And so often on a Monday morning, Stefanie and I, we'd wake up. For those who don't know, Stefanie and I are sisters. We're both co-founders of the Creative Crafting Club. And we'd wake up and then we'd message each other and we'd say, "Happy Monday." "Oh, yay, it's Monday." Mm-hmm. And it's because we are so passionate about what we do and we enjoy it so much. So it's exactly as you say, like working in the evenings every now and then. I mean, I've also got a son, so I really restrict myself to not work at night or try not to work over weekends. But you get so excited that it actually becomes, it's a pleasure to spend time doing that. Last question, Lauren. I just want to check if I've highlighted everything that you've taught us today. You've given some fantastic tips. What advice or tips would you give someone who's looking to start a kids crafting club?
To just don't overthink it. To just go for it. Like if you put it out there to say, would anybody be interested in this? And if you get some positive responses, then just do it. And if you can, for those people that are working at the same time, try Saturday morning class, see how you get on, see if you enjoy it, see what the response is, and you can always build it up in that way. It doesn't have to be, right, I'm leaving my job and now I'm going to do this full time. Like there are other ways to sort of mix it up. But I would say, like, just don't think you need to have everything perfect. But you don't need the perfect website, you don't need the perfect leaflets printed and all of that before you go ahead with it. All those things will come. You can work on those things as you go through. So my advice is just go for it.
Yeah. Okay. No, I completely agree with you. Start small and grow. Don't. You don't have to have the perfect studio. You don't have to have all the perfect things to set up if you are teaching online or with craft kits to have a warehouse for craft kits. Just start small. Start around your dining room table.
You don't want to pay out all of this money for materials and for marketing and all those sorts of things when you're just starting out. Like you want to just get on with it and see, because the direction you want to sort of take it in might change anyway. Think, oh yeah, I want to do all these craft kits, and then you might start doing them as I did and go, oh no, actually I'd rather go down this route with it. I'd rather do the classes or I'd rather do the virtual stuff. So it's, I think I just have experiment and just give things a go. Yeah.
Love that. And then Lauren, if people want to get in touch with you and learn more about your brand and what you have to offer, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, which is that.kid.life or thatkidlife.co.uk, or there's I have recently started a Facebook group as well, which is Craft Mums UK, where I'm hoping we'll get lots of people to share different ideas as well. So we'd love anybody to come and join there too.
Fantastic. Lauren, don't leave. I'm going to quickly kick you out now, but then I'm going to come and say goodbye. I just want to quickly tell everyone just about our challenge that's coming up. Lauren, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
It was an absolute pleasure and privilege to chat to you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So for those who don't know yet, we've got our Launch Your Club Challenge coming up next week. So if you are a little bit unsure about where to start and you feel like starting a kids club, whether it be teaching online or teaching in person, if you are interested in online, go and have a look at the live we did yesterday with Stefania. She focuses specifically on teaching kids art online. If you want to teach online or in person like Lauren, or if you want to sell craft kits, then be sure to sign up for the Launch Your Club Challenge. It's a 5-day challenge. You need about 20 to 30 minutes a day. And we're going to show you how to go from starting a kids crafting club, all the first steps you need to start, up to the point where you can launch your first classes without the nerves and without the fear of failing and fear of feeling embarrassed. So just type challenge in the comments and we'll share the link for you. And then, we've got 1 or 2 more interviews coming up this week. So keep an eye out for that. And I hope you enjoyed Lauren's story today. I feel inspired. She shared some incredible tips about starting small and growing. She said that ask people what they want. If you want to find a studio or something, ask them what they want. Make sure there's safe parking and it's convenient and easy for them to access. Ask them what times would be convenient for them and for their kids to come to the classes. And then barter. If you are looking at renting a space, then barter or ask for that you pay a percentage per head, so you have a flexible cost instead of a fixed cost. And then take monthly bookings. That was the other big tip that Lauren shared with us today. So this interview was loaded with really great tips, and I hope it was as insightful for you as it was for me today. All right, I'll see you next time. Cheers.